The entire press room suddenly fell into absolute silence as Elon Musk stared directly at the famous female reporter and announced firmly, "I will not continue this conversation any further. You need to leave." What made Musk, a man known for his composure in every situation, take such a decisive step? Is this the hidden truth? Or merely a performance staged beneath the glare of media spotlights? Watch the full story, because what you're about to witness might challenge everything you thought you knew. The large auditorium at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, buzzed with restless anticipation. Journalists from around the world filled the sleek modern conference hall, whispering softly while cameras clicked continuously, capturing every carefully arranged detail. Behind the polished minimalist podium was a massive digital screen emblazoned with SpaceX's iconic logo glowing softly against a matte black backdrop, evoking a sense of both innovation and authority. The atmosphere was tense yet exhilarating. Today's press conference wasn't an ordinary event. It was the moment Elon Musk would reveal SpaceX's bold plans for Mars colonization, a project that had captured the imagination of millions yet sparked intense debate over humanity's priorities. Voices rose and fell softly, creating a quiet symphony underscoring the profound significance of the announcement about to be made. Renowned news anchors exchanged knowing glances with veteran reporters, each fully aware that whatever Musk announced today would dominate global headlines for weeks to come. Behind the stage, hidden from the camera's view, Elon Musk adjusted the cuffs of his tailored navy suit, his face calm yet intensely focused. His gaze quickly scanned the live feed monitor showing the packed auditorium. He took a slow, deep breath, a ritual that had guided him through countless moments of high pressure. Mark Johansson, his trusted senior advisor, stepped quietly toward him, tablet in hand, his voice calm yet cautious. "Is Citra ready for you, Elon?" Mark said evenly, quickly scanning the notes on his device. "Just a heads up, Laura Bennett from Global News is here. She's sitting front and center." Elon paused briefly, his eyes sharpening. He knew the name well. Laura Bennett was infamous for provocative questioning and deep skepticism toward tech billionaires, often highlighting issues of social responsibility and ethical concerns. "Well," Elon replied calmly, "then I suppose today's Kanda will be interesting." Mark nodded, a slight, knowing smile crossing his face. "The backstage team is ready. Everything's set." Elon nodded decisively, adjusting his posture with a confidence tempered by gravity. This moment, like many before it, would define not only SpaceX but himself as well. Elon Musk knew very well that, regardless of how revolutionary and inspiring his vision was, today's press conference would inevitably lead him into challenging territory. The press always had a way of turning innovation into controversy. He stepped toward the bright lights marking the entrance to the stage, the whispers from the auditorium merging into an expectant silence. The lights dimmed slightly, signaling the waiting journalists that the moment had arrived. Elon walked deliberately toward the podium, each step confident and authoritative. As he emerged into view, countless cameras fired simultaneously, capturing every subtle detail. His fleeting, refined smile, decisive gaze, and authoritative yet approachable presence. Elon paused at the podium, gently adjusting the microphone, allowing the moment to settle, heightening the room's anticipation even further. "Good afternoon, everyone," he began, his voice calm yet resonating clearly throughout the large auditorium. The room instantly fell into complete silence. Journalists poised with pens hovering over notebooks, fingers resting lightly on keyboards. "Let's get started." The applause quickly faded as Elon Musk took his position behind the podium. He leaned forward slightly, his eyes calmly sweeping across the room. His demeanor was filled with confidence, yet tempered with caution. He understood the weight of every word at this moment. Elon gave a subtle nod, signaling that he was ready to begin. "Thank you all for being here today," he began, his voice slow and strong. "As many of you know, SpaceX has reached a major new milestone. Our Mars colonization project, Aurora, is no longer a distant dream. It's become a tangible reality, one that promises to reshape humanity's future." He paused briefly, letting the words settle into the atmosphere of the room. Cameras flashed from every angle, capturing his calm and confident presence. "As of today," Elon continued steadily, "we have successfully tested life support systems, and constructed sustainable habitats capable of supporting human life on Mars for extended periods. This isn't set just about exploration. It's sets about survival, about expansion, and above all, about hope. Hands shot up instantly. Eyes sparkled with curiosity, eager to ask questions. Elon scanned the room quickly and chose his first reporter. "Yes, you," he said clearly, pointing to a young journalist in the front row. The young reporter stood quickly. "Mark Ellis from CNN. Mr. Musk, when do you realistically believe humans will set foot on Mars?" "Within 5 years," Elon answered, without hesitation. "Our plan is ambitious, but absolutely achievable. We've done the research, we've run the simulations, and we are ready to move forward." He nodded again, moving to the next question. "Go ahead, Laura." The room turned as Laura Bennett stood, impeccably dressed and sharp-eyed. A veteran reporter from MSNBC, known for her hard-hitting, and at times provocative, questions. Laura wasn't there to simply report. Dressed in a dark suit, her expression was firm and unapologetic. "Laura Bennett, MSNBC," she said clearly. "Elon, many critics argue that your Mars project serves only the ultra-wealthy, ignoring urgent issues here on Earth like poverty and climate change. What do you say to those who believe SpaceX's resources should be directed towards solving present-day problems instead of funding what they see as a luxury space adventure?" The room stirred with quiet murmurs. Elon straightened slightly, his gaze steady and unflinching. "Thank you for raising that, Laura," Elon replied, his tone calm but edged with firmness. "Let me clarify, SpaceX's vision for Mars is not exclusive. It is a contingency for humanity, ensuring long-term survival. This project supplements, not replaces, our responsibilities on Earth." Laura pressed harder, her voice sharper. "You speak of survival, but how do you justify billions spent on Mars when millions here still lack food and clean water? Isn't this just a billionaire set's vanity project?" Elon's jaw tensed slightly, a flicker of irritation passing across his face, though his voice remained composed. "Laura, every major leap humanity has taken was questioned at first. Exploration, innovation, and survival aren't set luxuries. They are necessary investments. Going to Mars isn't set about privilege, it's set about preserving civilization." The tension in the room clearly rose, an undercurrent of energy shifting in the space. Cameras zoomed in, sensing the confrontation building. Laura lifted her chin slightly, her eyes shining with resolve. "With all due respect, Elon, the average person can afford a ticket to Mars. Isn't this just an exclusive escape for the elite, leaving the rest to deal with real problems here?" A heavy silence fell across the room. Elon leaned forward slightly, his gaze unwavering, his voice slow but powerful. "Our vision isn't limited by your present assumptions. Just like aviation, the internet, and electric cars once seemed unreachable to ordinary people, Mars will eventually be accessible too. But someone has to take the first step. We lead because we understand the long-term responsibility to everyone, not just the wealthy." Laura didn't back down. She remained standing, unshaken. "But Elon, people still believe you start turning your back on those who need help the most right now. Don't you feel a moral obligation to fix Earth's issues before chasing dreams on another planet?" More journalists shifted uneasily, realizing the discussion had moved beyond inquiry. It was now a clash of ideologies and ethics. Elon breathed in slowly, then answered with crisp finality. "This isn't an either-or situation. We are also investing in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and clean water technologies. But humanity cannot limit itself. Colonizing Mars is about creating a future, not abandoning the present." He calmly adjusted the microphone, concluding firmly, "Next question, please." But Laura didn't sit down. Her eyes remained locked on Elon's, unwilling to let the confrontation end so easily. Everyone in the room knew the real battle had just begun. Elon Musk adjusted his stance behind the podium, taking a slow breath before carefully speaking again. "As I've mentioned before, Laura, SpaceX's mission has always been centered around benefiting humanity as a whole. Mars colonization is a crucial step in ensuring the long-term survival of our species. And let me be clear, There is nothing luxurious as about survival. Laura Bennett tilted her head, a subtle smirk tugging at her lips as she leaned in closer. Her voice cut through the air with accusation. That's interesting, Mr. Musk. Yet once again, you have neatly dodged the actual issue. Let's be honest. Aaron sits these massive investments just vanity projects for the ultra-rich wasting precious resources while urgent problems on Earth go unaddressed. A tense silence blanketed the room. Cameras clicked hesitantly, reporters exchanged glances. Elon felt his jaw tighten, a flash of annoyance passing through his eyes. Laura, he said calmly, holding his practiced tone. It's clear you came here with an agenda. Let me remind you, our space exploration investments have real value here on Earth. Satellite tech, climate monitoring, sustainable energy breakthroughs, they all directly improve life on this planet. Laura raised a skeptical brow, her pen tapping rhythmically against her notebook, intensifying the quiet tension. But why not redirect those billions immediately to humanitarian crises? Is Mars really more urgent than hunger, healthcare, or education? Can you answer that without reciting company lines? This time, Elon paused longer. He could feel the entire room holding its breath. He'd dealt with tough reporters before, but this was different. Laura wasn't seeking truth. She was staging a performance. I answered your question. Multiple times, Elon replied, holding steady. But you said you're not here to listen. You said you're here for conflict. Laura scoffed. That's an easy dodge, Mr. Musk. Isn't it refusing to give a straight answer? Just another way of admitting this benefits the rich and ignores the struggling? Journalists shifted uncomfortably. Elon inhaled, understanding the moment clearly. Laura wasn't backing down. The press conference was slipping into a personal confrontation. Miss Bennett, he said slowly, with restrained patience. I've been transparent. I've explained our goals. But it's clear you said are not here for answers. You said are here for headlines. Laura leaned closer. Her voice dropped sharp as ever. Another deflection, Elon. Still no real answer. Are you afraid to admit SpaceX puts luxury space dreams ahead of real-world responsibility? Her words landed heavily. The room stirred with hushed murmurs. Elon stood taller, exhaled softly through his nose, eyes sharper. That's enough, he said quietly but decisively. I once engage in a discussion conducted in bad faith. You sit in hijacking this event for theatrics, not inquiry. Laura leaned back with a theatrical smirk, arms folded. So asking hard questions is theatrics now? Good to know. Elon didn't flinch. He felt the room watching. He gave a small nod toward security at the side. I'm not here for drama, Miss Bennett. This exchange is no longer productive. Please leave the room so others can ask constructive questions. Gasps rippled quietly. Cameras clicked rapidly. Laura's smirk faltered, then hardened into defiance. You sir really kicking me out for challenging your vision? She said, her voice rising. Is this how you silence criticism? Elon held firm. This is about professionalism and respect. You sit disrupting this event, and I once allow it to continue. The security guard stepped forward, calm but firm. Laura glanced around, her expression wavering between outrage and calculation. At last, she stood slowly, dramatically collecting her things. Fine, she murmured, her voice just loud enough for the mics. You can silence me here, but you can silence the truth. She walked out deliberately. The door closed behind her with a sharp click. Elon paused, facing the silent gazes of the remaining reporters. The tension lingered. Clear to all this wasn't over yet. As soon as Laura Bennett exited the press conference, a wave of uproar surged across social media and global news outlets. The remaining reporters in the room, stunned and electrified, scrambled to document every detail. Within minutes, the video of Elon Musk asking Laura to leave the hall was uploaded online, instantly garnering millions of views. Major news organizations jumped in, each offering starkly opposing perspectives. Some outlets defended Elon Musk, portraying his decision as necessary to preserve professionalism and order during the press event. They argued that Laura Bennett had used the press conference as a platform for personal attacks and attention-seeking rather than fulfilling her role as a journalist. Commentary from tech-focused and innovation-oriented media praised Musk for responding appropriately to Laura's provocations. Conversely, socially inclined media outlets and digital news platforms condemned Musk, accusing him of silencing press freedom and evading his social responsibilities. High-profile commentators like Rachel Carter and Kevin Maddox criticized Musk on national television, claiming that removing a journalist from a press conference was a blatant example of his intolerance toward fair criticism. Within hours, two opposing hashtags were trending across social media: #StandWithElon and #SilencingPress. Heated debates erupted on Twitter, Reddit, and major tech forums. Some users posted selectively edited clips highlighting the moment Musk asked Laura to leave, while Musk's supporters pushed the full video, urging people to watch the entire context before drawing conclusions. Inside SpaceX headquarters, Elon Musk and his advisors monitored the rapidly evolving situation with quiet but focused attention. Mark Johansson looked at Elon with a serious expression. "We need to respond quickly. Laura Sit's going to use this moment to ignite public backlash." Elon, his eyes thoughtful, gave a slight nod. "Upload the full, unedited footage. Let people see and decide for themselves." The press room was now empty again, but the tension had not dissipated. Public opinion was splitting sharply, not just over Musk's ambition or social responsibility, but over truth and power in the digital age. Elon Musk stood silently by the large window in his executive office at SpaceX HQ, his gaze distant as he looked down on the busy streets of Hawthorne, now swarming with dozens of reporters and news vans. Alerts kept flashing across his phone screen. Every headline, every post tied to his name and the incident with Laura Bennett. Mark Johansson stepped into the room, tablet in hand, its display overflowing with sensational headlines spreading like wildfire across the internet. He cleared his throat, trying to maintain composure. "Elon, this is escalating. Major networks are running with headlines like Elon Musk ejects reporter to dodge accountability. The public sits divided. We need to act now to shape the narrative." Elon remained still, contemplative but unshaken. After a moment of silence, he turned around, eyes sharp but steady. We're not going to explain ourselves endlessly. Post the full, unedited video on X right now. No commentary, no spin. Just let the public watch and decide." Johansson nodded in agreement, a trace of relief crossing his face. Musk always chose transparency during crises, but this time Mark knew the stakes were higher. He asked cautiously, "Should we prepare a formal statement as well?" "Not necessary," Elon replied simply, glancing toward the team of aides waiting outside the door. "But have a response unit ready. Monitor false narratives online. If needed, we respond with brief factual corrections, no drawn-out debates." Within 30 minutes of Musk's decision, the full video went live on X. The title was direct and unambiguous. "Full exchange from today's SpaceX press conference. Watch and decide for yourself." Immediately, views surged. Millions watched the footage. Many began posting supportive comments, pointing out Musk's patience and professionalism before ultimately asking Laura Bennett to leave. His supporters quickly circulated the hashtag #TransparencyMatters, emphasizing the importance of full context truth in today's media landscape. Still, opposition remained fierce. Major media outlets continued to interview Laura Bennett, who now appeared on primetime shows with a somber, emotional tone, declaring the incident a chilling attack on press freedom. Musk knew that video alone wouldn't be enough. Laura had already gained public sympathy through skilled emotional storytelling. Elon sat down, his face calm but with a flicker of concern. He looked at his team and gave clear, firm instructions. "Prepare verifiable data, showcasing the community-benefiting projects we launched. I want it clean, accurate, and accessible. It sets time we highlight the value of what we do, not through arguments, but through facts and real-world impact." Johansson immediately signaled to the aides. Elon sat in silence for a moment, knowing this wasn't just about him and one reporter. It was about truth, trust, and clarity in a digital world spiraling with noise. Without another word, Elon returned to his desk, beginning preparations for the next step in what would become the most intense media battle of his career. That very evening, David Emerson, a seasoned journalist with over 30 years of experience in the media industry, appeared on NBC's special news segment. The studio lights cast a clear glow on Emerson's composed yet stern expression, a figure respected in journalism for his objectivity and fairness, even in the most controversial situations. Host Samantha Raz opened with a measured tone. "David, public opinion is buzzing over the incident where Elon Musk removed journalist Laura Bennett from this morning's SEP's press conference. With your years of experience, what sets your take on this action?" Emerson sat upright, looking directly into the camera with his signature calm, piercing gaze. "I think we are missing a crucial point here. Laura Bennett wasn't set to asking questions to seek truth or transparency. She was clearly turning a significant press event into a personal performance, provoking tension and chasing notoriety." Samantha raised an eyebrow, cautiously pressing back. "But many argue Elon Musk was avoiding tough questions about social responsibility. Was removing Laura not an abuse of power to dodge real-world issues?" Emerson gently shook his head. "We have to be clear. Journalists have a duty to ask hard questions. Yes, but also to know when to stop. Laura wasn't just asking questions. She repeated an accusation over and over, ignoring the answers. That's manipulation, not journalism." Musk's response may have been firm, but I understand why he acted the way he did. Immediately after Emerson's remarks, social media erupted. The hashtag #journalism vs activism soared to the top of global trends, sparking intense debate on both sides. One camp strongly supported Emerson, emphasizing that modern journalism had become too focused on sensational conflict rather than objective reporting. They argued that Laura had exploited press freedom to build her personal brand, undermining the integrity of the profession. On the other side, critics accused Emerson of siding with Elon Musk and condoning authoritarian behavior that silences dissent. Younger journalists like Sophie Tran, who stood at the center of the debate, began publishing balanced analyses, questioning whether modern journalism was truly dedicated to truth or being swept up in a storm of click-driven spectacle. Back at SpaceX, Elon Musk followed the discourse with a deep sense of disappointment rather than vindication. He had always believed in the power of truth and transparency, but now he saw clearly how, in the age of social media and instant headlines, those ideals were becoming harder to uphold. Musk gently closed his laptop, turned to Johansson, and said with quiet conviction, "This debate is no longer just about me or SpaceX. It sets about trust and the ethical future of modern media. We did the right thing, and truth will stand the test of time." Johansson nodded silently, understanding that the battle wasn't just for Musk's reputation, it was for the future of truth in a world increasingly divided by emotional but shallow narratives. As the global debate continued to escalate, Elon Musk made one final public statement via his personal X account. It consisted of only 4 words, but they spoke louder than any lengthy explanation. "Watch the full video." Within minutes, the post went viral, shared by millions. Without adding a single word, Musk reminded the world that in the digital age, the responsibility to distinguish truth from manipulation doesn't just lie with the press or public figures, it lies with each of us. The reactions were swift and widespread. Many social media users openly admitted they had jumped to conclusions based on clipped videos and sensational headlines. The hashtag #WatchTheFullVideo quickly topped global trends, becoming a powerful symbol of digital awareness and the importance of full context. Inside his private office at SpaceX, Elon Musk sat quietly, watching the ripple effect of his brief message spread across the globe. Mark Johansson gave a slight smile and said, "Sometimes, less really is more." Elon nodded, his eyes reflecting his steady calm. He knew the bigger battle wasn't over, but this message marked a powerful beginning, an invitation for a more honest, thoughtful conversation in the future. After watching this story unfold, I personally believe it's a wake-up call for all of us. The media can easily fall into the trap of conflict-driven storytelling, forgetting its core duty to inform with clarity and integrity. In this situation, Elon Musk chose transparency and composure in the face of provocation, but public opinion remains split by conflicting narratives. It reminds me of a famous quote by Mark Twain. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. In today's digital society, more than ever, we must stay sharp when consuming news. Truth takes time to surface, and the responsibility lies with each of us to dig deeper, think critically, and avoid rushing to judgment based on headlines alone. What do you think about what just happened? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the next powerful video on your screen. Thank you for watching until the end. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter in this important journey.